Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Brokerpreneur podcast. I am Dr. Ben Spears, the ambassador of flow. I'm here with the big guy as usual, Matt Vi. How's it going, Matt?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic, just like usual, Dr. Ben, ambassador of flow.
Yeah, I hear you, Matt. You're always doing great,
Fantastic.
and you're always doing fantastic. And honestly, that makes my day every single time you say it.
Well, I appreciate that,
Right.
man. I appreciate
know it's
that.
because you get to sit here in the studio with me.
Okay. Yeah, that could be part of it.
Yeah,
For
and
sure.
that's what everybody else is thinking as well.
Right.
But we have an amazing guest.
Yep.
Right. And we're going to bring him on. I'm going to introduce him. I just want to get straight to the content because, people hear us every Monday and Friday.
Right.
Right. They're here for Nic.
They are here for Nic.
Right. So, guys, without further ado, we're going to bring on COO of IT Systems and Solutions, Nic Held, just an amazing company that can help all of your brokerages with their IT solutions. So let's bring on Nic really quick. How's it going, Nic?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey, living the dream, living the dream. How about you?
Same every day.
Well, tell us a little bit about, where you are.
Hey, hang on a second. Before you do that, Nic, turn your head to the side just a little bit there. The other way. I think I see a bar behind you, right? Is that bourbon on the bar back there?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm talking
We just
about.
moved offices, so the first thing we put together was the bar cart,
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, anyway, that's the end of the podcast. We're going to Nic's office.
Come on by.
We should have done this one live.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm in New York, New York City. We just moved. Our new offices are by Herald Square. It's really hot here.
Yeah, absolutely. So your company, so I was talking to Ben a little bit about your company, and of course we did some, we did some background and everything. I love the space that you're in because so many brokers just need that help getting over the hump of some things that's a distraction to them. And we'll dig into that in just a minute. But, first we kind of want to hear about your background, right? Isn't that what we did?
Yeah.
Ben?
Oh, absolutely. We, it's one of those things where, I imagine you're sitting on the floor and you're 5 years old and, you're using your speak and say, I don't know if that, you look younger than me. So, and you're like, I want to devote my life to IT.
Yeah, it was not as direct as that.
Tell us the story.
Yeah, so I'm actually born and raised in New York, in Manhattan. I'm a native New Yorker, and I actually majored in classical civilization at William and Mary and minored in theater. So obviously not a direct path to IT. I started basically unboxing computers and learning everything that I could. I had a real benefit of having two great mentors, and one being my uncle Alex and the other being his partner Danny. And they are true geniuses in their field, and I had the blessing to really work with them. And as I started learning, I started helping more and more and getting more and more involved in the deeper stuff, the harder technology. And that was 11 years ago. So,
oh wow,
I really had a knack for it, and I think that sort of what we strive for is to bring some of that human aspect into the IT field where we can see as robots. But really, I think my background in theater definitely helped me, sort of bring this human element into what we do and sort of focus on how to make businesses more efficient without impeding them through technology. So that's where we strive.
Gotcha. I love that. How old is the company?
So the company actually, it started, I believe, 1997. So it's been around for a good long time. I was sort of the first employee about 11 years ago.
Okay, gotcha. Well, 1997 to me means that's the year that Tiger won his first Masters. Right. So that's what sticks out to everyone else out there. I would love to know what 1997, what happened to your life in 1997. So put that in the comments. That's really cool. I honestly, I looked for that, and that's why I asked that question. I didn't expect it to be 1997, right? That's super cool.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm a broker, right? And I obviously a broker owner. I own the brokerage. I have a lot of agents, or I have a few agents, and I have IT issues, right? How many times do we hear brokers say, "I'm lucky to turn the computer on,"
Yep.
right? And that kind of thing.
Our motto is, "Did you reboot?"
Yeah, exactly. Unplug it and plug it back in.
Yeah.
I like to say when someone says that, I just can't wait to turn it off. You're trying to turn it on. I can't wait to turn it off.
Yeah.
So tell us, if a broker said, okay, I'm having all these issues, what would it look like for them to reach out to you guys and get started? Or what are the questions that you usually get from people? They're like, this is what I really need help with.
Yeah, I mean, I use the example all the time. We deal with everything from the, "Hey, Nick, I can't print," phone call that I get, which is sort of the base level stuff. Like, people at their desks need to be able to function and complete business, whether it's printing or sending an email, something as simple as that. If technology worked, I wouldn't have a job. So there is a need for getting those small things done. And then it goes all the way to that sort of back end cybersecurity level. Where, like, is your network protected? And so those are sort of like the extremes of it. And then also you have the actual, like, brokerage firm. You have their own company, their agents, what's going on with them. And that can be a physical location, it can be everyone remote. And then also on the flip side, whether you're dealing with commercial or residential, there are technologies involved in everyone that you interact with. So there, it goes from building technology, which is huge. So if you're selling an apartment, it's like, okay, how do I get in my apartment? The technology that's involved in access control is enormous, and it's going to affect the tenant. It's going to affect the landlord, and it's going to affect ultimately the broker or agent. So that's huge. And then on the housing side as well, on the residential, it's totally what is already in the house in terms of like a security system or anything like that.
Right.
You have monitoring, cameras. Everything today is connected, and you need to be aware of it and sort of have some insight into how to use it. And that's where we sort of value add and also help on the actual business end for brokerages and people in real estate.
Yeah. I love that. And Matt, usually when we talk to, like, a company that, deals with IT, man, it is like the first thing that they start talking about is, oh, we help with this. And it's immediately like so far over everyone's head that it's not even funny. So I love, the example of, hey, I can't print. Right. I would have to imagine that, every broker listening, at one point in time has had the issue, every human listening really has had the issue of, like, man, I just couldn't print. They heard you say that. And if they were holding a pen or something, they threw it up in the air and they're like, what in the world am I doing?
Yeah. We have
how nice would it be to have that?
Yeah, no, there's definitely some anger let out on some computers.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Off the table sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, it applies to everybody. And specifically, on the broker business side, there's, that issue could be, throughout their entire, agency. And
Absolutely.
so there's really, there's a huge need for people to just be able to get the help they need when they need it.
Yeah, so that's such a big part of their day-to-day business too, right? As much, probably the best way to look at it is you eliminate the friction from their business, right? The things slowing down the tempo of them getting done what really needs to happen. When you talk about a printer not working, it's not really that the printer's not working. It's that they can't hand somebody what has to be printed, right? And so what you're doing is you're eliminating that piece of that, which is just so cool. And for a broker to not have to become an expert on that to reduce that friction, man, that's just such a big deal. So what are some of the big things that you run into? So let's talk about day-to-day brokers that are running their business, right? So printing, of course, is one of them, right? I'm sure, some networking stuff is probably a big deal, right? Things going down and everything. What are some of the day-to-day things that you see on a pretty regular basis that you're able to kind of dig in and help brokers out that keep that friction out of the way so that they can keep the tempo they need with their clients to make sure they keep those commissions coming in?
Hey guys, this episode of the Brokerpreneur podcast is brought to you by the Speculo Group. The Speculo Group is the turnkey solution for agent and brokerage lead generation. With a focus on generating the highest quality leads from platforms like Google, YouTube, Facebook, and more, the Speculo Group is your one-stop shop to dominating your local market and beyond. Visit their website for more information at thespeculogroup.com.
Yeah, two main examples come to mind. So we have some recent projects going on where we have a brokerage with multiple locations, and something as simple as having the same Wi-Fi at each location.
Yeah.
So their agents can go to any location, wherever they are, hop in, and they're already connected and ready to go.
Yep.
So we just completed a project like that, and it really just it made a world of difference. Just the amount of people asking, the higher ups, what's the Wi-Fi? That email stopped. Or that text message stopped. So it eliminated an issue right there. And then number two would be phone systems. I think that brokerages in particular have not really taken advantage of voice over IP yet. And that is something that really changes the game, because it allows you to have all of your agents with a work number that can text, that they can transfer calls from to their computer, to their phone, to their cell phone, if they have a desk phone. Like it's completely seamless. And also it connects all of your locations. So you can have one single number with an auto attendant that says, hey, you've reached, whatever agency it is. And then, just down the line, you could have the user or whoever's calling in actually guide themselves to exactly where they need to be without the need of transferring or anything like that. And you can do that across multiple locations. So those are two huge things that I think really save a lot of time and are relatively simple, cheap, and easy to implement and understand.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's two fantastic examples.
Absolutely. Now, I'm really trying to think about this, as I always do, from our brokerpreneurs out there. And I'm going to get to a question with you, Matt, in just a second of, well, gosh, because you ran a brokerage for so many years, if you had a solution like this, right, like what that would look like as far as your time. But I'm thinking, okay, well, you're in New York. All right, I'm in, I'm not in Arizona. Remember, let's say I'm on the other corner.
Yeah.
We're in Clearwater, but let's say I'm in Clearwater, I'm in Arizona. Like, how does that work? How do you have an IT company work with you from a distance?
Yeah. So the great thing is about 80% of our work total is remote. So we have also partnerships with, if you talk about the phone system, like let's say there is a company in Scottsdale, Arizona, that is, there's a company putting in a new phone system. We have partnerships with phone dealers, manufacturers, other companies that can actually ship those phones pre-provisioned. All you have to do is take them out of the box, plug them in, and they will start working because we've done all the configuration on the back end. So there's, it's really, really simple. It's a lot easier than people might think. And, I would say at least 80% of the work can be done remotely.
Yeah, well, that's music. That's music to everyone's ears.
Absolutely.
There's so much technology out there that can really, really help. And it's the way of the future. Everything is going this way. And I feel like it's at the point now where it's cheap enough that it's available to everyone.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, and here we are talking to each other.
Yeah, exactly.
From a distance. Exactly. It's basically like we're in the same room. We just don't have bourbon. Right, so
we'll get there. We'll get there. The way of the future.
We got bourbon in here.
Yeah, we got bourbon in here. So Matt, let's talk about that, right? And honestly, just to add one little point to that, most people want it to be remote. If you can't print something, you don't want to have to sit around and wait for somebody to come to your office, and you want that solution, as soon as you can get it, and remote is the solution to that. So let's say you're a broker, what would it look like, to have, a service like this?
Yeah. So there's a couple of things out there that are similar, but I like the way that they're set up, right? So there's absolutely in-house solutions, right? So large companies have in-house solutions, they have IT departments, all that kind of stuff. And so I'm just going to just be real direct and just throw this out there. Okay. Sometimes you get along with the people that are part of the in-house solution, and sometimes you might not necessarily get along with the people that are part of the in-house solution, or a lot of people get very connected, end up utilizing a lot of the services and time and effort that the in-house solution has. And so other offices might not get the same amount of attention, right? So that can happen because there's very much people involved in that. Okay. So in-house, you got to be a little bit careful with that. And then there's also, some states offer some basic solutions for this, right? Some state associations offer, you can call and they have their IT department and all that kind of stuff. I'm a capitalist kind of guy. I love a company having to stand on its own 2 feet. Okay. So I like that somebody is saying, hey, look, we want to provide not just the IT services, but we want to provide the human services, which is exactly where you started with all of that, Nic, which I love. You're getting paid to do a certain job because you have to have a certain relationship with them, because you're trying to uphold the integrity of your business. You're trying to maintain your reputation. I think all of that is killing. So you're remote, but you're a vendor, you're a service provider that only survives if you're able to service the people from a customer satisfaction level, instead of just saying, hey, I'm an IT department, I work with the company, I'll get
paid hourly.
I'll get to it whenever I get to it. So I love that angle. So I think that's super killer. How many times do you guys, a question for you, Nic, how many times do you see that other people have had other solutions and they end up coming to you because they like the way that your solution is set up? I would think that probably happens a pretty decent amount, right?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, we we come in sort of mid-job if something's not going right, sort of thing. That does happen. And totally, and thank you. Yeah, I think that's exactly it. We do provide that human side, but in addition to that, we talk about the tech side, the human side, but there's also the business side as well. And what that means is, we here are running a business. So we're, learning, and we're learning about processes and procedures and how to make things run better, and like what to do to grow a business. And as we, learn those lessons, we implement them for our clients as well. So we absolutely, we're in it with them. We consider ourselves a partner, and we have a saying that we're a customer service provider, number one. And our product is technology. But, regarding the business stuff, growing the business, running the business, making things easier is what we're trying to do for our business as well. And there's definitely applications that we can use and help our clients with. So we sort of provide this like outsourced CTO service where I'm working directly with C-suite to say like, hey, I found this is a much better way that I'm running my business. You should think about this as well. So that's the other aspect of that.
How much do you interact with just agents, right? Are there just agents or team leaders that use your service, or is it just brokerages that use your service?
Both, and also like regarding specifically a brokerage, it's up to them to decide how agents get help. So, do you want to allow agents to reset their password, or should all password resets come to a single point of contact that has access to do that? Those are the options, those are the things that we think through. And that can change as the business grows as well. But it's important to have all those options laid out so that you can make informed decisions about how you want to run your business.
Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. So two things before we kind of wrap this up. Number one, I got to thank Yvonne Dam for getting us in touch with Sydney, who works with IT systems and solutions, who also got us in touch with Nic. That's the power of networking, everyone.
Right. Absolutely.
So kudos to Yvonne. She's
and we mean networking as in people networking, not
not this kind of networking.
Yes.
Because we're talking about both networkings, but the networking is actually networking that we network with, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
The people networking.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So and the next thing I want to get at is if our listeners wanted to reach out to you, connect and say, hey, how can I learn more about what you do?
Yeah.
If Matt and I wanted to send you an email about how you have so much hair and what we could do, please, let us know how people would connect with you.
Yeah, absolutely. The best way is you can view our website, ITSYS like system, SOL like solution.com, ITSYSSOL.com. And on there, it's info@itsysol.com. And
Perfect.
that's me. That basically goes to me. So
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, guys, as always, I'm going to put all that information in the description below. So, if you were sitting there frantically trying to write it,
Don't worry about it.
shame on you.
We got you.
Right? You're your first time listener.
Technology.
That's right.
And so we appreciate it so much, Nic, for coming on, sharing your
Absolutely.
expertise. I have zero doubts that our listeners heard this and said, man, this is something that I could kind of, wrap my brain around and maybe put some investment into. But beyond that, if you're listening to this, guys, on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Deezer, any of those platforms, hit that follow button. If you're watching this on YouTube, hey, what's up? Hit that red subscribe button, that bell right beside of you, get notified every time we drop a new episode. There's absolutely no better time than the present than to go to brokerpreneurpodcast.com. Check out all the cool things that Matt and I have. We got that Brokerpreneur Fast Track sneak peek available on the homepage right now. Go and check that out. It's really cool, and it will help you grow your brokerage in all aspects: recruiting, retention, and productivity.
It's a rabbit hole of value.
Yeah, it's you're through the looking glass. But Matt, we bring on amazing guests just like Nic every single week for one reason and one reason alone. And tell them why that is.
We just want to be part of your win. Thanks,
See you guys.
guys.